Greetings, wrestling fans, and welcome to another edition of the Ragin Wrestling Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ravishing Randy.
And I am Rampage Ramsey.
So this is the first time we're doing this fun little Google Meet edition of the podcast. This is going to kind of be the way going forward. Ramsey broadcasting live from South Carolina, me still back here in New Orleans, and we're going to make this work some way, somehow.
Freezing my ass off in South Carolina.
Dude, we had a cold front come through here, man. Like, I woke up this morning, the house was like 60 degrees. It was freaking cold outside right now, and it's had to bump the heater on, which is kind of crazy to be doing it mid-November. It's usually a little later than that.
Well, it was in the mid 30s this morning, so and it's going to get colder during the week. So, yeah. But I get to see fall. I get to see fall.
You get to see brown, orange,
red. Yeah, I get to see. I get to see. They got down the street here. They got the ice skating rink set up for the town, and again the whole downtown turns into Christmasville, so it's like a little Christmas Santa village. So yeah, it's getting all ready. It's getting round up and ready for the holidays.
Yeah, man. We still got to get through Thanksgiving, so the whole celebrating Christmas too early, I'm not for that.
Yeah, I'm not a big holiday person, so it's all nice and everything. I just want to get this over with. Get to January.
Speaking of getting it over with, we're going to talk about your favorite topic today, AEW, but more specifically, not so much talking about what's going on with the promotion right now. I had thrown out to you a couple weeks ago that a good topic for a show would be doing a fantasy draft. And like, we talked about how there's so much talent on the AEW roster. And the fact that, like, you have two big marquee shows a week, you have 4 hours of content to fill, why is it so hard to get a lot of these talents featured? Or why they'll go weeks at a time without featuring certain people that by the time they do show up on your TV, you're like, why should I care? Because clearly you don't care. So we talked about the fact that you have two shows, 2 hours of television with each program. One of the ways that you could maybe fix that is by doing a draft and making talent available to one specific show and featuring that talent on a consistent basis.
You mean do the WWE standard?
Well, okay, I'll put it like this. I don't necessarily mind the fact that you have talent that is quote-unquote exclusive to one show, but they pop up on another show every once in a while. If you can kind of explain it away with a good enough reason why this character is being featured on a show they're not drafted to, I'm okay with it. I do also think you can make certain exceptions maybe for if say we have one tag team or one set of tag championships, and you say have those tag champions kind of float between shows, take on tag teams on each. You can make that work. What, you got a fly floating around?
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, you look so cute. You look so cute in the picture, just,
It's small enough that you can't see it. I don't see it all like on the camera. I'm like, it's coming like right in my freaking face. It's like bugging the shit out of me.
But no, like I don't necessarily have an issue with talents kind of floating between shows, as long as it's not on a consistent week-to-week basis. If you do it every once in a while and you explain it away with a good enough excuse, I'm on board for it. With that said, though, can't have too much bleeding over of the talents. So, what are some of your thoughts before we go into this draft?
I mean, shit. They need overall. I agree with it. They got too many people on their roster to do with 4 hours of television, and you're not how you call it. You're not highlighting some of the really good talent that they got it just seems like they're just grabbing like, oh, this person's a free agent, let's go grab them. There's some people on this list that I would even have in wouldn't even offer the contract or have on their roster. Period. And I'm talking about some name stars. I'm not going to tip my hat who I don't want or do
Y-
who I want, but I think you got to start doing some type of like you have two shows, use it as a platform, split the roster, highlight some parts of that roster on there.
Yeah, and I mean, like, there are a couple of names when we're looking at the roster list that, like, theoretically, you're like, who is this person? Well, the good thing about like that question of who is this person is like, okay, well, that's somebody that we maybe need to feature more. And it doesn't necessarily mean, hey, let's put him in a main event match against the current champion or anything like that. But it's like that's the whole point of an undercard, to build up somebody through the ranks and then eventually maybe get them into the mid card. And then eventually with the mid card run, then maybe you can elevate that person if they have what it takes to be
Yeah,
a main eventer. And so it's like with some of these names, it's like who who is this guy? Who's that guy? But over time, we can get to know who that guy is or who that girl is. Um, so kind of why don't you run us through real quick before we go ahead and start the draft? The premise is like you and I are going to be the GMs of one of those shows. I think you've tagged me
you're going
as the GM of Dynamite. You're the
you're going to be
GM of Collision, and
yep.
then why don't you explain what we're doing with the championships and how we're breaking that down?
All right, so just like he just said, he's going to be the GM of Dynamite. I'm going to be the GM Collision. I separated the title belts to where all the AEW Men's and Women's World Championship will be on Dynamite, as well as the TNT and the TBS Championship will also be with on Dynamite. On Collision, the main title is going to be the international title, which I am going to make that because one, I think Orange Cassidy did enough with that title to make that to probably the title in AEW on that run he did a year and a half ago. And then it will be a men's international and a women's international championship, and then the
Continental.
the Continental Championship will be the secondary titles in both the men's and women's on the collision. The tag team championships will be on Dynamite. There's only going to be one tag team belt, um, which will go more into being could be will be cross branded, where tag teams from both ends um, will compete. Will compete for that, but it will go toward mainly primarily on Dynamite. Dynamite is a flagship show.
Hmm.
I'm trying to make Collision like SmackDown 2000, where it wasn't a primary, but hopefully people at draft will make it
It
better
wasn't the
than.
primary, but you had kind of later on like the SmackDown Six, which was like these were the six guys that basically made that show run, and from a wrestling standpoint, made
Yep.
it stand out.
So that's what we're
So
going to do. And then the 20 picks, the first 20 picks, uh, it's going to go Ravish and Randy, then me. And then at picks 21 through 40, it's going to be me, then Ravish and Randy. We'll just flip it over. So to kind of get it like kind of squared off, a little fairness to it. Um, there is we got from the AEW website the men's roster and the women's roster, which we both have on there. I also have a little list of current free agents in the wrestling world that if you want to pick one of these, you can. You can pick from this list. I got some men, some women, some highlights. I didn't put all the. I just put some of the probably the top names out there right now on the list.
mhm.
So with that, uh, Brandy, you got the first pick. Who you choosing as the number one pick in AEW?
So I kind of feel like with my first pick, if Dynamite is the flagship show, I kind of feel like, and this may be a cheat because this is multiple picks in one. I'm gonna go with the Elite as my first pick. They are the flag bearers of the company. And now, granted, so with the Elite, I'm going with the original Elite. I'm going with Kenny Omega and I'm going with the Young Bucks. So I'm gonna keep Okada out there as a potential pick for you, but I gotta feel like the flagship show, you got to have the flag bearers of the flagship, and so I will go with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks as my first pick.
All right, so that changes my whole strategy right there. You kind of threw the monkey wrench.
Yeah,
Um,
well, I asked you about
yeah,
like
the
actions and
factions.
how to keep them intact. So
You know, with that, with the number two pick, I'm picking the entire House of Black.
okay,
I'm taking all four of them. I'm taking Alistair, Brody, taking Buddy, and I'm taking the
Julia Hart,
Julia Hart.
not bad pick, my man, not a bad pick. Um, for the sake of storyline purposes, and this might royally fuck up your what you have going on, but I'm gonna go with John Moxley and the Death Riders for my second pick. So I'm pretty much establishing faction versus faction. That's in a sense the big storyline that we're building up right now in AEW overall currently. But um, give me John Moxley, give me Cesaro, or excuse me, Claudio Castagnoli. Give me Pac. Um, give me that whole group. Because
Who, who,
we're gonna be featuring a war.
who is in that group besides Moxley?
Moxley, Claudio, Pac, um,
Is
which
Wheeler?
yeah, Wheeler Yuta, and Mina Shafir.
Okay, you got a couple people that I was looking for on my list in the in the in the future, but um, I need someone who's going to hold my championship.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that man's not on this list.
Ooh,
I'm picking. I need a Cody Rhodes. Give me Matt Cardona.
Matt Cardona is your number two pick.
He would have been my
Interesting.
number one pick, but when you took off the elite. I'm like, I gotta have Malachi Black. So and I want Buddy Matthews. I was like, I gotta take him.
Like what's interesting about Matt Cardona is that just personal opinion, okay? So sidebar. I I don't think he actually commits to a company unless it's to go back to WWE, and then even then, I don't necessarily think he's bouncing to do that right now because he's enjoying this run of being able to work whatever promotions he wants, being able to make as many appearances as he wants, and he's making a hell of a lot of money doing
Well, I'm just gonna give him more money. You can still do that.
that.
You can be the belt collector 2.0.
True, true.
I'll let him do whatever he wants. I just need him on this TV show to bring in the viewers. I need him to make this. He's going to be that person to make it to get Collision more views. That's the guy I need. I need him.
So I didn't include this next pick as part of my first pick because I do feel like he kind of broke out and did his own thing. But I am gonna go with Heyman Adam Page as my number three pick.
Yeah, you could have picked him at number 20. He's still been available.
I know you have nothing. I know you have no want for him or no need for him, but
All right. So on my third pick, let's see. My third pick. Yeah, you took my. Give me. See, this is how bad I don't know the fraction. What faction is Adam Cole's in?
I don't even know if you could say
Yeah,
Adam Cole
Cole is
is
in
currently
the
in
other
a
faction,
faction
right?
because originally it was the Undisputed Kingdom, but now he's kind of doing his own thing. But do you want to go ahead and take Adam Cole in Undisputed Kingdom?
Let me see who's in it. Who's in Undisputed Kingdom?
Um, Taven, what's his face? God. Yeah, we have a list right here. I can freaking tell you. It's Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, or Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, and Roderick Strong.
Hmm.
You still thinking about it?
No, nope. Yeah, Adam Cole, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, Roderick Strong, Wardlow. No, I'm just going to take Adam Cole by himself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just do Adam Cole by himself.
Um, to me, you need to. This is gonna mess up a potential storyline for you, but I'm sorry. This one's an absolute must, and I can't believe I let him fall to number 4. Every good show needs a great heel. I'm gonna take MJF with the number 4 pick.
Um, Once again, you could have waited till the 20th pick and you could have kept him.
I
Totally.
can't believe you're such an MJF hater, dude.
I'm not. I'm not. I think he's outgrown AEW. I don't think he's outgrown AEW. Feuds. I think he'd be. I hate to say it. I think the feuds for him are not there. I think it would be better for him to be in WWE. I think the feuds are in WWE, not in AEW with him.
Hmm.
I mean, there's really with that. Plus, anyway, I want a real champion that fucking actually competes and compete his ass off. I'm take Orange Cassidy.
All right. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Love me some Orange Cassidy. Um, on the women's side of things, I'm gonna go with Timeless Tony Storm.
No, the timeless retired Tony Storm.
Yeah, retired, retired.
Retired.
Just wait till she comes back. Just wait.
Oh yeah. It's like, oh, that like if I've never heard of a work before, that was a work. Um, you know, I need I need somebody. I want somebody with experience. I need someone on my thing to I think that people want to see. Um, I don't know how long we're going to have them, but I'm going to take Samoa Joe.
Mm, good pick. Good pick. Um, I'm gonna take. She was the number 1 pick when it came to the women's side of things when AW was birthed. Give me Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, as my number 6 pick.
Okay. Uh, okay. Mm. going to be an interesting one. You know what? Give me. He's not on that list?
Who are you looking for?
Lashley.
Yeah, I guess you didn't add him, but I would throw this as a word of advisement to you. I would take the entire Hurt Syndicate if you're gonna take Lashley. You gotta think 4D chess, man. If I'm taking factions, you should be taking factions too.
I Hurt Syndicate. That's a.
MVP, Shelton Benjamin, and Lashley. They haven't added any new members that I know of yet.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll take the Hurt Syndicate.
For my seventh pick, I'm gonna go back to addressing the tag division, and I'm gonna go ahead and take FTR. Fear the revival, fuck the rest, whatever you want to use the FTR for.
Let's see. I think I want to go get. I want to take a half of a faction.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go with the Bang Bang Gang, but I'm just gonna take Jay White, Juice Robinson.
Oh. Well, then you know what? I'm gonna take the other half. I'll take the Gun Club with my number 8 pick.
All right, let's see here. How funny would it be right now if I just say my number 9 and pick Jeff Jarrett?
Isn't this your number 8 pick?
Yeah, no, it's not gonna be. It's gonna be Big Bill.
Big Bell?
Big Bill.
Big Bill, okay.
I think that's someone they underrate. That could be a big heel
Like, okay.
on his
The
own.
only. Like, everybody's shitting on the learning tree with Jericho and everything like that. If this ends up making Big Bill like if this ends up being a vehicle to then push Big Bill to the next level, I'll be okay with it. But like, yeah, that dude, as jacked as he is now, and as good of condition and shape as he's in, he needs to be featured more prominently. And that dude is a monster waiting to fucking happen. Um, with that said, speaking of monsters, I'm gonna go ahead and take Powerhouse Hobbs with my number 9 pick.
Okay. Um, I'm going to. I need some. I got this really building super heavyweight division right here.
Mhm.
I need a monster. And fuck AEW doesn't know what to do with him, but I do. Miro's coming back.
Amen. I was gonna say, I think it's not long until he's back in a WWE ring, but I was gonna say, if you could make something out of him, I'd be glad to see that, dude. Um, with my number 10 pick, I am going to go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and bring in Will Ospreay. Kind of surprised that he's sat on the shelf that long.
Let me tell you, I'm not a big Osprey fan. Not. I'm not. So it's I am not shocked.
Mm.
All right. So the last pick of the first half. Ooh, you know what? Because I got two picks back to back. I'm gonna put another big heavyweight in this division. Another person they don't fucking know what to do with. Give me Keith Lee.
Ooh.
Oh, I got
All right.
heavyweight. I got heavyweight division, and so now that's the first 20 picks. It'll go down to
Well,
20.
real quick before we go ahead and jump into that, let's look at our first like our rosters with our first 10 picks and just make some comments on it.
Okay.
So like on my side, I've got the Elite, so it's Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks. I'll also throw in Brandon Cutler in that too, just because
Take them.
Cuddy Cuddy Cut. I know you're not gonna want anything to do with him, but I like having a bullshit fall guy thrown in there. I've got the Death Rider, so I've got Mox, Pac, Wheeler Yuta, Claudio Castagnoli, and Vinicius Jr. I've got Hangman Adam Page. I've got MJF, Tony Storm, Britt Baker, FTR, the Gun Club, Powerhouse Hobbs, Will Ospreay. I definitely think that the main event picture is looking really good. We've got two great women to kind of kickstart our women's division. Um, and then two really good, well, three really good tag teams to work with here. Ramsey, let's go ahead and evaluate your roster.
All right. I got kind of like splitting them up real quick because I think I have really right now. I have a super heavyweight division, which I might have to relook at these titles and
Mm,
might do something a little bit different with them because, like I said, I have a quality of one, two, three, four, five, six. I have six big guys.
big
With
beefy men, slapping man meat.
I got Brody Lee, I got Samoa Joe, I got Bobby Lashley, I got Miro, I got Keith Lee, I got Big Bill, and hell, I could probably put Joe Benjamin into that group as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other hand, I got Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, Orange, Adam Cole, Orange Cassidy, Matt Cardona. I got Jay White and Juice Robinson, and then I have MVP on the side, which will before
You
for the.
only the only thing is you only have one woman on your roster thus far, and that'd be Julia Hart.
That's good. That's okay.
Well, no, I was gonna say we gotta. I think probably a good strategy for the back end is looking to beef up your women's division.
Maybe.
Maybe
Maybe.
you're gonna have a women's continental and a women's international champion. What, she's gonna hold both belts and be the only woman on the show nobody to defend it with?
Maybe.
All
No.
right. Well,
But speaking about that, I gotta go with the best woman wrestler that's on the fucking roster that does not get used properly yet. That I think they disrespected so far. I'm taking Deanna Perrazzo
good pick. Good pick.
because I between Perrazzo Lynch, um, fuck, can't think of it. I can't think of JC, fucking TNA, JC. I'm losing my mind.
Wait, you talking about Valkyria? Or you
No,
talking
no, I
about
go JC,
or not Valkyria?
JC, never mind. Let's delete that thought. And we lost Randy. Uh, we'll be right back. And we're back for after technical difficulties. Randy, you do have your 11th pick.
Yeah, for my 11th pick, um, after your Keith Lee pick, it made me kind of think about what I wanted to do, but I'm gonna stay kind of true to what I want to do with my women's division, and keeping with the theme of originals to AEW. Well, she wasn't really an original because she was signed with NWA when she first made her Dynamite debut. I'm gonna go with Thunder Rosa with my number 11th pick.
Okay. Um, with that, for my 12th pick, I am going to pick Hikaru Shida.
Good pick. Good pick. I would be remiss if I did not pick my boo. This was like one of my biggest crushes. Kind of the last couple of years with the AEW. It was kind of sad seeing her on the shelf for as long as she was. I'm gonna take Jamie Hayter with my number 12 pick. Kind of digging this like 70s disco kind of theme that she's running with right now. Loving the hair. Loving the hair.
All right. Let's see. All right. I am going to. Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna go with Athena.
Good pick.
That's my third.
There's
Yeah.
there's a part of me that wants to make certain picks, but I kind of feel like in a way that um they would be more natural picks for your brand, seeing as how there's some built-in storylines already there. So there's a part of me that there's a part of me that really wants to make a pick and like screw you over, but then there's another part of me that's like waiting for you to realize who's still on the board.
You gotta remember who you're talking to. I don't give a shit what their storylines. Actually, no one fucking cares about their storyline because no one's watching AEW. The whole point of this is because we're trying to make it more interesting. So yeah,
I think yeah, but I think
AEW
that some of
storylines are
those
not
story
there.
I think that some of those storylines are interesting and can be interesting. But okay, with you saying that, that's cool. I'm gonna take Swerve with my 13th pick. Should have been picked sooner, in my opinion. But
Yeah, he was low on my list. He was on my list, but low. And there's nothing against what he was doing. It's just I have other people I wanted to pick that I know. I just want not being. A lot of people are not being portrayed correctly in AEW. I think that they should. Like fucking Miro been sitting at home doing fucking jack shit.
mm-hmm.
Just getting divorced, which is damn. Um, I need a. I was looking at a strong 7 women on Collision.
mm-hmm.
I have 4, and I got 3, and I'm gonna pick this person, and it's not more about how what more not using her more in the ring, but it's gonna be more for backstage. I'm picking Serena Deeb,
I like the
and
pick.
and actually I'll label her right now. She's in charge of the women's division.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool. With my 14th pick, I'm gonna take Okada.
Mm, what's his first name?
Kazuchika Okada.
I don't see him on this. Oh, because okay.
Okay.
All right. I don't know his. I don't know the first names. Okay. On that note, um, give me Darby Allen.
I'm kind of surprised that you waited until here to pick him.
Well, here's the thing. I want to pick him, but there's also other people I want to pick around him, and I'm just hoping the next person is still available. So it's something I was waiting to see, but it looks like I kind of see like where you're going and where I'm going is like, well, I know I'm going to go off the fucking reservation. You're staying around with storylines and stuff, so
I'm gonna take Konosuke Takeshita with my 15th pick because, like, to me, this is a kid that is going to be the future of AEW. This is a kid that you could definitely build a brand around just from look, in-ring skill. He's getting better when it comes to talking. Like, it's going to take some time, but I feel like he can get there. And that's a guy that's got money written all over him, especially with some feuds that could potentially happen down the line.
okay. Um, because it's going to my favorite now. I'm taking Hook.
All right. And I'm going to take with my 16th pick Kyle Fletcher. It's another one that I kind of feel like he's a young dog. Um, to me, he just kind of gets better and better each time I see him in the ring. And I think like it's only a matter of time before we hold him in the same reverence as a Will Ospreay, as like a young genius of the ring, or just as far as from a skill standpoint.
Damn.
Front row. Did I pee in your Cheerios?
No, I'm looking at on my list who I have on my want list, and only got 4 spots left. So I'm gonna pick out my favorite women's wrestler that got released from WWE, Tegan Knox,
Mm.
because she has the talent. She just have bad.
Can can she stay healthy? That's the
That's the
big question.
problem. That's the problem. That's the
Um,
question.
I was gonna say I need let's see, because I have three good tag teams. I need another one. I'll go ahead and I'll take Private Party, who are the current tag team champions. Doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna be my tag team champions, but
Okay. I need to get at least. Let's see. It's 4, 5, 6. I need to get one more female wrestler. And ooh, hmm, I'm on the fence on 2 people. And you know what? Let's go for a 2-for-1. Give me the. I don't know what they're fucking called after WWE, the Elk Iconics or the
they were the inspiration in
Inspiration. There you
TNA.
go. Inspiration.
Oh, all right. You have a message. Mm. I'll you know what? I'll go ahead and I'll take another tag team. Why not? Because they're just falling off of trees. Give me the acclaimed.
The Acclaim.
Hmm.
Okay. So, second to last pick for me. I need leadership, but then he's too hard to pass up. See now I'm in. Oh,
Mhm.
I can't fucking stand him. But I need a fucking heel. I need some more heels. Give me Baron Corbin.
Wow. Okay.
I think as much as I can't stand him, but
I have a
he
feeling.
he's a good heel. He's a good heel and a good worker.
I have a feeling that the person that I want, like my last female that I want to pick, is still going to be on the board by the time I get to my 20th pick. So I'm going to say with my 19th pick, I'm going to round out the heel division of my side, and I'm going to take the family. And by that, I mean I'm going to take Christian Cage. I'm going to take Kill Switch. Give me, what's his face? Fuck, the little boy wonder.
Oh, that's Wayne,
Yeah, Nick
Nick Wayne.
Wayne, Mama Wayne. Yeah, so give me the family. So give me Christian. Give me all of them.
Okay. So when I was thinking about my rosters, I want I picked Serena Deeb to be the one to be in charge of the females of the women wrestling division. I have someone in my mind for the men's.
Okay.
Give me Eric Young.
Mm. I like how you're mainly going, or like just kind of like looking at your roster. It's mostly the people from the free agent side that aren't in AEW currently.
We need help too. Like I said, I look at some of this roster. We'll pick your 20 and then we'll go into it.
For my 20, I'm going to go with Camille because I kind of feel like I need another big bruising woman that can compete in the division, especially with Jamie Hayter, somebody that can go power for power. I kind of like that. We have we have a bunch of floaters out there that I would still like to see get on rosters, and it might be one of those things that we could talk about that in like a post podcast deal where we're like, oh hey, we scooped up this talent, this talent, this talent in the free agent pool or whatever like that. Kind of like how WWE does after the fact with the, oh well, these people went undrafted, but this is where they ended up afterwards. Um, but I was gonna say, like, I do like as far as my draft how it plays out. Granted, a lot of it, or pretty much like really all of it, is people that are currently on the AEW roster. A lot of it is featured talent. The main thing is going to be storylines and what we do with them. Um, that like I think they could be better served if we had better storylines. You want to go ahead and talk about your roster right quick?
Yeah, so looking at the AEW roster and not being a big fan of what they're doing in storylines, I was thinking is like, I want a roster. I don't want to go big roster. Like the free agent fields, there's a couple on here that I still like. I would get free agents wise to fit into certain things, but I feel like my premise is like, I think the one thing that AEW does wrong is there's like they don't really focus on a really big super heavyweight division. They
Mm,
don't have the big guys are never facing really the big guys. You get that one match sprinkled here, sprinkled there. They didn't really do too much of it. It's mostly the high talent cost talent. The elite. Osprey and all of them. So I looked at it to where I'm going to have like a heavyweight division, but then I'm also going to have the regular. I don't want to call it not. It's not cruiserweight. It's the middle heavyweight division.
Mm-hmm.
But then I pretty much have also a extreme division where we do hardcore matches, and then on the women's side, it's just you have some women that are seasoned, but there's some women that are not, and bring them together and just have something kind of new. Bring something in to go. Um, but I just think to me the the person on the women's roster that I don't understand they don't what they're doing with her is Deanna Peruzzo.
Yeah, well, it's weird. It's like she's there, and she sort of had a feud with Thunder Rosa, but like, so yeah, like between Deanna Purrazzo, Thunder Rosa, those are two strong women, and they are just kind of there. Now, I will say that Harley Cameron and Thunder Rosa had an amazing match on Collision um, a couple weeks ago, but it's like these people are not featured enough, and it's like with your women's division, you know, if you want to keep it strong, if you want to keep it interesting, you should be featuring more of these women on a consistent basis. Now, I will say one person that it's kind of interesting that neither of us drafted, your current TBS champion, Mercedes Monet, your current AEW champion, Mariah May. Now, granted, I would still probably try to scoop up Mariah May in like a supplemental draft, so to speak. But it kind of goes to show you like some of the star power that's on the roster currently, and we're just not featuring them enough.
Yeah, look. I said it. I said it before. I'll say it now. I'll say it again in the future. I think Mercedes, what's her name?
Monet.
Monet is she took a step down. I I'm sorry. Like she's A plus A class, but I think going to AEW is a step down. It's not doing nothing for her. It's not doing nothing for her. I think going to New Japan, step up. Going to AEW is a step down
I
because
don't think
they
it.
don't know
I don't.
they don't know what to do. First thing, put a TBS title.
Well,
That's disrespectful in that aspect, but also too they disrespect fucking another like Deanna Palazzo. So I'm not shocked about that shit either.
I don't necessarily think that it was. I don't think her going to AEW was a step down. What I do think is that AEW really bungled how how she debuted in the build-up. The fact that like she wasn't cleared to wrestle, and it took her roughly 3 months to get cleared to wrestle. I get you're in Boston, and that is her hometown, and you built to this whole thing up with everything. So you debut her, and then she sits around on TV doing stupid shit. She can't bump, can't do anything for 3 months, and it's like the whole allure of, oh holy crap, AEW just signed Mercedes Monet. Like, oh my god, that allure was definitely diminished by the time she actually made her in-ring debut.
Yeah,
And it's like, is she heel? Is she face? Is she heel? Is she aligned with the elite? Is she not? It's like definitive baby faces, definitive heels. Not everybody can be gray. Not everybody could be a fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know, like you have to commit to heels and faces to get people invested and want to care. You know, I was gonna say any other thoughts because there's a couple of names. There's a couple of other names that maybe I'm kind of surprised didn't go off the board. Um, kind of surprised Jericho didn't get drafted up by anybody.
well, here's the thing about Jericho for me. The same Jericho, um, Adam Copeland, and then also with Christian.
Hmm.
Don't want him. To me, it's like okay. It's to me, it's like I don't need that. I don't
Hmm.
want that. I don't want that. I didn't want that on the thing. If if I was thinking about maybe Adam Copeland as a leadership role, but then I'm like, I by the time I drafted Bobby Lashley and you persuaded me to do the Hurt
Hurt
Syndicate, I
Syndicate.
got MVP. And then on the back of my mind, I knew I was going to draft Eric Young. So like with basically MVP, Eric Young, and Samoa Joe, I got three people that can lead that locker room for one, but also out of those three booking, those three would be together booking the matches. Those are my bookers. Those would be the ones running everything for the men's division. I thought I was just like that's I don't need another elder. I got those three who I want, especially Eric Young's mind for House of Black
Mm-hmm.
and MVP to help sort the way like with everything else. I have a really good leadership role in that, and I think that's be great. Like with for MVP and for the heels, getting Jay White, Juice Robinson, Big Bill, Baron Corbin to make them bigger heels than what they are and what they can be.
Mm-hmm.
And then Samoa Joe just putting the shit together because I think he has a great mind. And it's just now just like hey here you go man let's do this. Let's make it dance.
So let's go ahead and so who are you crowning as your champions for the brand based off of who you've drafted? Who are you slotting into those roles?
All right, so my international champion right now. Well, let's start. Let's go with my secondary titles first.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the Continental Men's title. I am going to give that to the guy who made the international title being more than what it is. Give it to Orange Cassidy, and we're going to let him run and make that credible. Because
Okay.
the one thing we do know, he knows how to make it credible. Let's see.
Your women's continental.
I haven't even gone that far yet. I'm going to give it to the worker first. So I'm going to give it to Serena Deeb because she's my worker on this list.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to give it to Serena Deeb, and we'll go from there. I need that to be also mean more, and I think with her working, I think it can lead into making Julia Hart stronger than what she is,
Mm-hmm.
making Tegan Knox better, and Cassie and well Peyton Royce really. I really just want Peyton Royce, but it's a 2 for 1.
You might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are. So the Continental Men's would be Orange Cassidy, and the secondary Women's would be Serena Deeb.
All right. And then for your international champions.
My international women's champion is Deanna Praza. I'm gonna put her on the best one, and then make Athena go hunting. Make Hiroshita hunting. Those are going to be the first three in that list. Those the Serena Hiroshita and Athena going after Deanna Palazzo, and then having Julia Hart and Tegan Knox go after Serena D, and then work its way, getting get them to work better, get the work rate better, and then hopefully in the future having Athena overtake Dylan Palazzo, but having those three is going to be the key triangle
Mm-hmm.
for that title.
All right. And then for the men.
Like I said, I want someone to carry that belt. I want someone to have that belt everywhere he goes. Matt Cardona is going to be my champion.
Ooh. All right.
He's going to be the champion. But like I said, since I don't have a tag team title, I might come up with a title because I think this heavyweight division deserves its own fucking title. Because I have a heavyweight division by itself. So
I was
it's
gonna
something in the
say,
future.
kind of thinking about it too, though. Like one belt, you don't. So like, if I have the tag division, the trios belts are out there. Like
That's
they
the
are a thing.
dumbest shit in fucking wrestling. That's more stupid than the women's WWE championship. Fuck the trios. That's a dumbass fucking thing.
You mean the women's tag team championships on the WWE side?
That's the dumbest shit too. But also the trios is just on there. I just realized when I was doing this that they fucking actually. I remember they merged the ROH and the AEW together, and now they're not together. What the fuck? No. But I can tell you one thing: we take that trios and put them in one, and that's one heavyweight. We can do a we can do like
Oh
a super heavyweight championship. Something because goddamn, like no, like, because I'm just looking at if I'm just looking at the list for heavyweights, with Samoa Joe, Bobby Lashley, Brody Lee, Big Bill, Miro, Keith Lee.
you know what? I'll go ahead and tell you this. There was a part of me when you picked Keith Lee number 10. There was a part of me that was tempted with my 11th pick to go with Brian Cage because I like Brian Cage, and I saw what you were doing with the super heavyweight division, and I was like, I've already got Powerhouse Hobbs. I need another big beefy man to slap man meat with.
Yeah,
But I was like, nah, let me go ahead and beef up my women's division.
I got the heavyweights on here. There's only one more kind of heavyweight, but not heavyweight that I wanted. I really wanted Dustin Rhodes.
But he ain't there no more.
Dustin's
Well,
he's still technically.
the rumors out there that he's wrapped up with um that he's wrapped up with AEW, but then there's some people that are saying, oh well, he's got a Ring of Honor contract, so he might still be signed, blah blah blah. But Dustin could be a supplemental pick for you.
Yeah, it's just one of those like I just want him just to use him, you know, as two parts, like to do like a hardcore division, but also heavyweight too. Because I mean, his mindset behind stage and everything too is one of the things. But let's go with your TBS champion.
So for my TBS champion, I'm kind of feeling based off of the women that I have on my roster, I'm gonna go ahead and give the TBS championship to Thunder Rosa. Just because I feel like she's a good face character to have a run with the mid card belt and maybe having some heels chase after her. For my TNT champion, I'm gonna go with a guy that I believe he's had a run with the title, albeit very brief, and it's a damn shame because I kind of feel like we should be putting more respect on this dude for how hard he works, and he just has the look, and I think it's only a matter of time um, before they put the rocket on him. I'm gonna go with Powerhouse Hobbs as my TNT champion, and
Didn't he had
like
didn't he have that already?
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, he had a very brief run with it. They were kind of hot potatoing it between him, Samoa Joe, and Wardlow. That's what I'm saying. He had a very brief run with it, and I'm like, I want them to put it on him and really fucking let him go to work.
Okay.
Um, for my tag champions, I'm going to put it on FTR just because to me that's the standard bearer as far as what tag teams should aspire to. And I feel like that's a very credible team for everybody else to be chasing after. Oh man, got a little emergency going on your end,
That doesn't happen too much around here, but yeah.
huh? For my AEW Women's Champion, I'm gonna go kind of off. Well, maybe not off the reservation here because, if I'm not mistaken, she was the longest reigning NWA Women's Champion. But I love Camille's look, and I kind of feel like having a big, imposing heel as champion that everybody's chasing after is a good way to kind of start out, especially with a unretiring Tony Storm trying to get her name back in the headlines. A Dr. Britt Baker DMD that's trying to prove herself as the standard bearer for the division. And then even Jamie Hayter, a powerhouse that started as a heel, but then everybody fell in love with her. And like I said, I'm loving this 70s disco gimmick that she's fucking rocking right now. Like, I feel like that's a good group of women to be chasing after Camille for the belt. And then for my AEW champion, I'm going to keep it on Moxley because I do actually think that this storyline with the Death Riders and everything like that about them trying to kind of like change the face of the company, I think that's very interesting. And if we eventually build it the right way with the elite ultimately coming back together to actually battle this faction, it could make for very interesting storylines and ratings. I love the fact that Mox walks around with the title belt in a briefcase that's handcuffed to Mina Shafir. Like, I just like the whole visual presentation of it, how they look when they come out. In a sense, it's almost like a modern Dangerous Alliance when you see them all kind of march out together. Um, like I said, the main thing that's gonna do that storyline well is going to be pacing and properly telling the story. And fuck, if Tony Khan can't get it right, I'll get it right for him on my Dynamite. So
Yeah, yeah, no, that's pretty good. I'm shocked with Powerhouse Hobbs, especially with the roster you have. I was like, there's a lot of people you put on that to make it even more better. But hey,
hey,
your
look,
division, that's your show.
that's why that's why we run the shows. That's why we have the pencil and we book the card, and that's why we ultimately move some of these pieces around to eventually get the belts on them. I was gonna say some of these guys stand out on their own where they don't necessarily need a belt to be a star. I'll tell you, MJF for one, I don't feel like needs a belt to be a star. MJF could ultimately down the road be my fucking Ric Flair, the dastardly heel that somehow, some way, always has the belt and people gunning after him. But I mean, again, we have more than enough talent on this roster where we can make it work.
Okay,
Hmm.
I like that. All right, just doing some, trying to keep up with some notes here. But yeah, I think we're going to do it. I think the next show we'll get together. Well, after here, we'll after I hit end, we'll talk about the free agency and then pick them up, and then next show we'll do a kind of like a storyline. What do you think we would do with the storyline, and start coming up with a storyline, and just see if it could be better than what is putting most on that TV right now.
I was gonna say, yeah, build out each of our, build out the low card, mid card, and then the main event scene. Build it out over maybe a few weeks, and yeah, no, it would be good to kind of like
we
see where we take our rosters and what we do with them.
Yeah, just see how we go with it. Yeah, because I think the free agency we got to talk. Cause I think we're gonna make some deals on some things. Because I know you probably want a couple people I want, but there's some people that I really want.
Hey, look, I'm very satisfied with my roster. Yeah, there's a few pieces that I think could like round this out and complete it, but I'd be willing to make some concessions in free agency to you because I mean I feel like you got a good roster, but I feel like it needs a bit of a bit of tweaking.
And a little tweaking. I got a little tweaking. Men's side, I got a little tweaking. Girls side, I got some tweaking I got to do. There's a couple people I wanted. It just came down to I needed certain men in the roster to get that over with. I,
Hmm.
I also believe, I'm still a believer of, I like to have the women have their own shows. I like to have, like how Stardom how WoW, how the other one that the kind of like the Raw reboot that was on Access TV. I forgot what it
Mm.
was, by Jeannie Buss. I think that would be great if it's produced correctly, but you got to give women the women division their own media. Like that 1 hour show that was on Friday, Rampage. Yeah, that would have been great just have women's, but do that on a Saturday night, like at 10 o'clock.
I kind of feel like they'd have to change the name of the show if we're gonna have an all women's show called Rampage.
No, we ain't gonna do it. We ain't gonna call it Rampage. It wouldn't be Rampage. It would be.
Yeah, I kind of feel like there's so many jokes that you could make there. It's like, nah, we gotta change the name for that.
But that 1 hour time slot, that would be like, if I know they was talking about they're going to have like a 1 hour time slot on. Well, it's funny. They were going to have a 1 hour time slot wrestling. There's a AEW is going to have a 1 hour time slot on Fox's. What is it? Fox has a.
FS1.
No. They have a streaming, like a free streaming service that does a show. I think Philo, not Philo, but one of
Oh,
those
Philo.
freebie.
Oh,
Not freebie. Freebie is about to go away. Amazon's going out of that business, out of that. Freebie's out. But it was
huh.
one of the Fibio, one of those TVs that the service that has the free. You can just sign on and you can just get on and watch free reruns and shit.
Yeah.
They were going to have like an hour time slot show for AEW supposedly. I gotta
Hmm.
find that one. I gotta find more information about that one. But I know when I heard Phoebe going out, I'm like, well, if Amazon getting out of it, everyone's gonna start getting out of it because it's if Amazon not doing it, no one else is gonna
I
do
mean,
it.
there's kind of in a way, in a sense, the haves and the have-nots. It's either your streaming platform's working or it's not. Like, if you're not seeing continual growth, then
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, put on that one. But it's interesting. We did this, and like I said, next episode we'll dive into a little bit more, and then maybe in the future we'll fix someone else's roster.
Hey, I'd be game for that. It's
I
always
don't know
fun.
how. Well, actually, we could do. We could probably instead of like maybe doing it, but we can project what's WWE's roster moves for the Netflix move because Netflix wants certain people on their roster,
They
and
basically want everybody, and I think like WWE is gonna be like, well, if we do that, then like we still have another show on USA that needs some semblance of star power too. Like
but
you
with
can't have Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, John Cena. You can't have all of them on one show. You can't have CM Punk. Sorry, it's like you can't have everybody. We can give you most of them.
so
We
the
can't give
question
you
will
all
be
of them.
because Netflix's show will be TV-14, it won't be
Hmm.
PG. So now like we can make a roster for that TV-14 roster.
That might be fun to do that. Yeah. Huh.
We can work on
But
that
I was
one.
gonna say, I know you're about to have to go pick up the kiddos, and we still got to talk a little bit off air. So let's go ahead and put a bow on this
Yes,
edition of
sir.
the Lady Marks Wrestling Podcast. Thank y'all as always for tuning in. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And until we meet again, Ravishing Randy signing off.
Rampage Ramsey out of here.
Did you forget who you were?
Yes, I did.